Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook with your hosts Edward McQueen and April Garner.
Oops.
Oops.
I'm way down. Way down.
There we go. Little adjustment there. Perfect.
Yeah,
How are you doing this evening?
Good. You get that coffee cup out of your hand.
What?
Why
are you messing with it? You were fine.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. The coffee cup that comes on when both of us come on at the same time. Oh,
yeah. I'm holding that Stay Positive cup. It was a gift to me, and it's a message to everybody. Just stay positive.
Wow.
Yeah.
So listen, April. This is that special time of the year.
It is
special. Okay. Special time of the year when all celebrations are taking place. Should be anyway. We certainly hope that this was quite informative today. First of all, welcome to our program, our viewers, all of you in live streaming land. So we certainly want to thank you for joining us today, and hopefully the information that you're getting today is going to be reflective of a fantastic or very successful holiday program that's being put on every year by hosted by the Conway-Horry County MLK Planning Committee. And speaking of them, that committee has been working very, very hard, I tell you. And our chairman, who we're going to have with us today, Reverend Jerry Falk, and one of the coordinators, youth coordinators, Mr. Edric Alston, with us today. They're going to lay out the platform and chart for us the activities that we expect to have as every year. I mean, it's every year. It's just a beautiful magnification of what we're celebrating, which is the Martin Luther King Jr. celebration, his birthday. And this year, April's 42nd year. So I got to applaud the committee. I mean, well, we'll bring them up. That's a problem when we let's introduce them. Okay, what do you say?
I said we go ahead and bring them on.
Bring them on.
Yeah, so we have Edric Austin with us and Reverend Jerry Falk. How are you this evening?
Good. How are you doing?
Good to be here.
All right.
Excited.
Yes. As usual, excited about the work, right?
Oh yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, it's good. It's good to know that. So we have Reverend Jerry Falk. Reverend Falk is the main event, or the contact person, which was labeled as contact person, and he's also the chairperson of the Martin Luther King, Horry County Martin Luther King Planning Committee. Reverend Falk, thank you all so much again.
Thank you.
And congratulations on what I'm going to congratulate you ahead of time, because if you're building off of what has been happening for the past 42 years, then it's got to be equally good. Okay, you guys have been doing a fantastic job. So if you for our viewers, if you could lay out to them what is expected on the 2 days, 3 day celebration, we would appreciate that. I'm sure they would too. So leave it up to you, Reverend Falk.
Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you so very much for reaching out to us, helping us to share and message out about what the MLK is all about in a small way, and perhaps in an Horry County way. We're trying to carry on and keep alive the work that was started and left undone at the assassination of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. There are still a lot of many issues, rather, that confront us as an African American community. Somehow it seemed to be getting lost in the stack of the cards. And so it is our responsibility as Black leaders, Black pastors, any leader in the community has to be concerned about the negative effects of that community as far as when it comes to the lack of opportunities, and when it seems that racism continuously becomes the thief that prevents people from being where they should be and want to be. And so it is our responsibility. I truly believe that we try as much as we can. We don't have to be Dr. King, but we can certainly keep his legacy alive and the things that he fought for when it came to the rights and opportunities of people. And I'm not just talking about Black people. He fought for anybody who was standing on the stairway of injustices. And so it is what we try to do. And of course, this year, we with the pandemic and everything going on, we're going to have again this year go virtual. But virtual does not dilute the program that we are doing. Brother Edric Alston, our one of our youth advisors, leader of youth advisors, will talk about what they're planning to do for Saturday, January the 15th. We're planning to talk with our youth. I'm just going to try with what's going to take place on that Monday, and I'll be very, very brief and very quick with it. We have a panelist of 4 on Monday, starting at 11 o'clock, and of course, all of this is going to would have to be virtual. But we have Reverend Dr. Sean Johnson, who is going to talk about the education justice. We have Minister Cedric Blaine Spain, who will be talking about political justice. We have Dr. Lakisha Hudson, who will be talking about the other issues as it involves social and our well-being. And then we have Mr. Kevin Mishu from the Bucksport community talking about, and he'll be talking about a very critical issue that we probably don't think that's very crucial. But he's also going to be talking about the effects of how our community can
Edric, can you continue in what he was saying until his
Okay,
screen
yes,
buffers?
it looks like
Yeah.
there's a freeze or a buffer. So Mr. Kevin Mishu will be doing our environmental.
Dr. Hudson talking about social and emotional justice.
So Reverend Falk, you kind of froze
Yes.
up there. Would you just repeat the part about Mr. Mishu?
He's going to be talking about environmental justice. You know, Bucksport for years have had a lot of flooding.
Absolutely, yeah.
But there are other environmental issues also that we have to become concerned with. Not just the flooding aspect, but also the aspects as it might relates to substations. Most substations in the past has been located in African American communities, so there's a lot of things that has gone on that seem to be coming back, and so we have to make sure that we are quite aware of it. Also, from the impact of environmental justice, have you noticed the African American communities that used to be predominant, and you look now today and you find out that they're now minorities? And so there's a lot of things that are critical in these times and days that we're living in, and so we have to make sure that we understand and we are aware of what is taking place in our communities. And so the more we can talk about it, the better we can grip it, the better we can handle it, and the better we can resolve it. And so that's kind of what we're looking at for this year. There are other issues in the future that we're going to be dealing with. I won't go into them right now, but we all heard about the critical race theory. And so we have to make sure that we are ready to debate what it is and what it's not, and how it affects and should affect everybody.
Okay, so I guess, Brother Edric,
you can talk about what you're doing on. Hey, yes, sir.
Okay. So on Saturday, starting at 12 noon until about 3 p.m., we're going to be working with the youth that ranges from elementary, middle, and high school students. We're going to be hosting that at our Conway Parks and Recreation. It will be in our senior citizens building. There, we're going to be doing a paint and talk. We know that there's a lot of things that the youth are involved in and going throughout this pandemic, as well as before the pandemic. And we thought, let's take a time to unwind, go back to basics, and do something without technology. So we're going to do a paint and talk to get them to express some of their feelings and how things are going through these past 2 years, and also lend some support as we can as they try to tap into their creativity while they're painting. So again, like I said, this is going to be for our youth. We have allotted about 50 slots. If there's more, hopefully we can work that out. But we have allotted about 50 slots for Saturday for our youth to come out and partake. We do ask that they are masked up with face coverings when they come. If not, we will have some there provided for them because we will want them to be safe in the environment as well.
okay, can I just ask for some clarification on some of the logistics that you just lamented on? Because the advertising says, you know, Smith Jones. Okay, so the elderly center at the Conway Recreation Center on Mill Pond
Yes,
Road.
sir. We went on and made the decision, and we will be using social media to broadcast that as well for the remaining part of the week. We went on and made the decision to go inside due to the weather should be kind of cold this weekend. So we want to make sure that they're comfortable as well. So yes, off Mill Pond Road, at the Conway Recreational Center, we will have it there in our senior citizen building, which is located on the far side of the building, where the baseball fields and the little park is. So it's the building on the farthest side of the Conway Park and Recreation.
Okay. So in essence, once I just want to get this straight because sometimes that can cause a headache to some people. Once they enter the Mill Pond Road interest, they just keep on around the back, right? It's actually in the back, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay,
sir.
just keep on around to the back to the forest building that's in the back.
Right.
Okay. All right. Okay. Just wanted to get that played up. And this a little bit more about your paint and talk. I think that's very creative. Yeah. So give us some examples of what's to be expected with the paint and talk.
So all of it will be based on our theme of MLK. We have 3 categories. The elementary kids will have a theme where we're focusing on social justice words. So we have a symbol for them, and they will then create their own words. We want them to be creative, so we didn't want to stifle them and give them their own words. So they will come up with their words to create on their canvas through the design that we have designed for them. Our middle school students will be looking at unity. We have something focused on unity with them, and they will be able to create their own slogan or saying that dealt with the times of the marches when Martin Luther King was here. They can come up with their own little slogan and come up with their own little saying like no justice, no peace, things like that. So again, we want them to be creative. We want them to think about that time frame to get them into that mode as well. Our high school students will be doing a bridge. So they'll be bridging their gap, and they will be focusing more on their artistic part. So we have something for all 3 levels to work on with a learning component in there, as well as there'll be a couple of counselors to walk around and just get the vibes of the students and see how they're doing as they're painting. Because like I said, this is our social and emotional piece as well, to let them see that this is a coping mechanism for you as you travel through your pandemic. We don't know what all kids are doing for their school year. Some still might be virtual through South Carolina. Some may be quarantined. Different things are going on. Some kids maybe just go to school and come back home and don't see their friends unless they're in school, and there's not that much contact. So we want them to be able to express themselves, talk about how they're feeling, and let the counselors then guide them in the directions of the way they should be going.
Again, I got to applaud you guys. That's very creative. I like the platform that you just laid out on what they'll be doing. I'm just impressed. Okay, I really am, and thank you all so much for bringing up those ideas. I mean, I know it's not easy. Okay.
And then I'll just interject that we do have an art teacher working with us. Her name is Miss Lenora Cox Skinner. She will be coming in and running the session per se with the kids to give them their pointers and guidelines before they start their painting. So we actually have an art teacher coming in to assist us as well.
Do you want to comment on the type of awards that will be presented? I see you have that on the ad that the awards will be presented, but so what are we talking about in terms of award? Or you want to hold in, for?
Yeah, I think I want to hold that in suspense, but there'll be a top winner for each category. Yes, sir.
Top winner for each category.
Yes, sir.
You didn't say what they will be winning them.
Well, it sounds like they want to keep it a secret.
For them to come on out and do their best regardless.
Yeah, they want it to be a surprise.
I just think that it's such an incentive to give a magnitude of the prize that's going to be, in some form, just for let them know that it's going to be something big. April is shaking her head.
It's a secret, Brother Edward. Why you pushing? It's a secret. It's a secret. The kids need to have something to be excited about. It's like Christmas. You know, they don't know what kind of presents they get.
Well, one of the big takeaways is they will have an original art piece to hang up in their house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere.
Yes. Well, I want to ask a couple of questions that are related to, you know, the importance of the MLK Day celebrations, because, you know, there's always celebrations all around the community, you know, across Horry, Georgetown counties, even, you know, it's across the United States and even the world. And it says a lot that this particular committee has been able to sustain a celebration for 42 years. Just in case people don't understand what 42nd annual means, it means for 42 years, there has been a team planning events to celebrate MLK. Right. And so, Reverend Falk, maybe just kind of talk a little bit about, you know, why it's important for us to continue to focus on the work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And not only, you know, by creating events like this, but also, you know, the work in general as far as community service is concerned, and the justice fights across the nation. Why is it important for us to continue to continue his work?
It's very important that we not only continue his work, but also continue the kind of work that he stood for. It's very important. Here we are, some 53 years now since his assassination. If we look from the point as to where we are now, and we don't realize that we have regressed and that we have lost some rights, and that we're still having to fight for rights that we thought that was eternally in place, we'll just be fooling ourselves. When you look at the past elections, rumors about who won and rumors who didn't win, all of these things go back and affect not just our community, but it puts us back in the spirit of the fights that we've been in trying to win equality, and not have people to continue to judge us by what color we might be. My feeling is, whatever color you are, that was God's business. Wasn't people business. That was God's business. But we all say that we all are in the human form, part of the human family. And therefore, I think we have to continue to move forward in trying to bring forth. It should not be based on what color you are, but it should be based on looking at you as another person of humanity. And I was thinking this morning, in along that line, April, of a song that was sung by the late Teddy Pendergrass, entitled "Wake Up Everybody." No more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking. Time for thinking ahead. We look back on King and all of those other individuals back during those times, Fannie Lou Hamer and all those other people. They were thinking ahead. We can always look back. We got to keep thinking forward. I think the critical debate now of the critical race theory is making us look forward, as well as look back, rather than denying what the history has been for everybody. And so that's what I think is important, because I don't think we make any ground or grounds until we're able to really accept each other based on our colors. I think that is the fight now. And I think more so as this critical race theory continues to evolve and revolve around our nation. Notice, though, many other countries aren't talking about critical race theory. They embrace their history. And the people pull together to try to make the most and the best out of it. So I think it's important. History is important. History is important.
Mm-hmm.
We can't erase it. If you can't erase it, you can't deny it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's important. I think it's very important that we continue to remind people, our people, other people, of the struggles that we've had coming to this country, since being in this country, not really based on intelligence, but based on race, based on color. So I think that's why it's important we must continue to tell our story.
And
there is a, yes, ma'am.
Go ahead and finish your statement. Mm-hmm.
There's a cliche that of a story where a little boy was talking to his daddy one day and asked his daddy, or said to his dad, "Daddy, I thought you told me that the lion was the king of the jungle." And he asked the father, "Why isn't the lion king of the jungle?" And the father responded to him, "Well, when the lion starts telling his story, he will become king of the jungle." We have to keep telling our story, whether it affronts people or not. We have to keep telling our story. So that's why it's important.
Mm-hmm. And it's definitely very important because, I know that there are a lot of conversations across communities and, populations about whether or not we've actually seen change in this world because of, the efforts or the strides of, coalitions, associations, committees, groups such as the Conway-Horry County MLK Committee. And, as the saying goes, it seems like, we've come a long way, but we still have far to go. So, as you think about some of the things that have happened, as you said, in the past 53 years, where do you think we are as a society? And, have things changed? It seems like, when we think that there's a ray of hope and that, people will come to the light. And like you said, society will change its mindsets about how to embrace humanity. Something comes up and is introduced that actually sets us back. So do you think there has been some real change, or do you think that there's just a lot of talk out there?
I think there has been some real change. I would not confess that there's been enough. It seems like we've gotten to a certain point with integration, and it seemed that integration itself was the big overcome. And yet at the same time, we can certainly be fooled by integration that racism isn't as bad as it used to be. Well, it just depends on how we look at it. Because if we still have things in the way of the progress of other people, and that progress, the lack of progress is based upon the color of the person, then racism is still alive and well. There's many ways in order to do that. It does not remove the stigma that certain people in this country are privileged. I don't think we've gotten to the point yet where basically Black people can see themselves as being privileged because the rules are different. Even if you're a Black millionaire, the rules are different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think that sometimes we're going to have to grip with that. We're going to have to grip that. We're going to have to grip that. So we should not stop trying to make things better in our communities, in our relationships.
Kind of freezing up on us down.
I think it's, yeah. I think he has. Yeah.
I was about to say, we'll
go ahead. Yeah, we'll get back to him in just a moment. Edric, to date, I know you talked about the fact that you have 50 slots available for the youth, and there was a question about pre-registration, and I posted information in the chat as to how they can register. So will you talk a little bit about that, just to let everyone know if they are interested in signing up their youth in elementary, middle, or high school, how they can actually do that?
Yes, you posted that they can reach out through email, basically saying that they are interested, giving us the name, grade level, and how many youth that they would be bringing with them. Or they could do the same by phone. They could call in and say that they are interested, giving us the name, the level, and how many of those youth that they would be bringing.
Okay. And who would they call?
My email address was on the flyer. My number was on the flyer, as well as Reverend Falk, but they could reach out to me personally if they want to direct everything to my way.
Okay. All right.
You want to put your number up?
Yes, sir. That'll work.
What is your number? Go ahead.
Let's do it. 843 397 4599.
All right.
Well, that's good. Good. And your email is ealston98@gmail.com.
That is correct, sir.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And Reverend Falk as well. Can they use your number? I see your phone number, your cell number anyway is on the flyer, I believe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's fine. Yes.
And that number is 843, just in case nobody's seen the flyer. 843-995. 995
4578.
4578.
Yes, sir.
All right, good brother. Well, you can't miss all of that now. But look, we're looking for something big here, even virtual. I think it's really going to turn out to be like the others, really successful. And we're still asking for contributions, aren't we, from people to help defray the cost of the expected costs anyway.
Yes.
Okay. So that is also listed on the flyer, but I'd bring it up again. You can just mail contributions to the Conway-Horry County MLK Committee, P.O. Box 3121, Conway, South Carolina, 29528. I'll say that again. P.O. Box 3121, Conway, South Carolina, 29528. And you make out your check, your $500 check to Conway-Horry County MLK Planning Committee. And all donations support event expenses and other upcoming youth activities. Okay.
And Mr. McQueen, if they would like to just personally drop off Saturday while we're doing the paint and talk,
right? Because
they're in the area and they're riding around, they're more than welcome to do that as well.
Absolutely, we need to get that out there, man. So now again, everything is virtual, right? Even the youth activities.
No, now the youth is actually in person. That's why I said masks are required. If they don't have a mask, we're not going to stop them because we'll have masks there for them.
Right. Okay. Again, I think this is really so creative. Paint and talk. I mean, I think it's to me it's impressive. So, and that's from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Think you can accomplish a lot then? 3 hours.
Yes, sir.
That's 3 hours.
I'm hoping we can. And if we cannot, we are making plans to move forward next month and doing something else with the youth. So this is not going to just be a one and done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. That's what I like to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So can I just and you all may not know any more than what Reverend Falk said about what Mr. Kevin Mishu will be talking on. He is a community activist in the Bucksport area. It's called Committee for the Betterment of Bucksport, and they do a fantastic job there defending. In fact, they're having a meeting as we talk. As we speak right now, a meeting at the James Fraser Center. It's a community meeting. They said that it's an annual, it's a monthly meeting. So hopefully, I'm sure people have an opportunity to digest a lot of that stuff that I'm sure Mr. Kevin Mishu and others will have for them to do so. But he's going to be talking about when you start saying environmental, that encompasses a lot of things, but I just want to touch base on the flooding issue that's going on in Bucksport, and just want to make sure and that is not taken off of the radar. And he's going to be talking about that. I think.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Talking about that.
That and many other issues. The forum is a main focus of bringing things to light to the community, to our listeners, in each category about what's going on, so that if there are unresolved questions or things they just weren't sure about, they have that opportunity to hear about it and ask questions about it.
Right. Yeah. And I've never met Dr. Lakisha Hudson. I'm sure she's going to be very, very interesting.
Yes. And like I was just saying, it's also part of our for our youth, but we're now going to be focusing more on the adults with that piece. We're going to do social and emotional with the youth, but then we have to understand that parents also need support and help. Whether it's the parent, the guardian, the grandparent, whoever has that child in the household, it has been a different type of learning for these past 2 years. So we really wanted to make sure that if people have questions or concerns, that someone is there to help them figure out which way they should be going.
Wow, that just sounds to me like you got it going on. The other speaker, Minister Cedric Bling Spain, I think he can certainly update us on and as Dr. Sean Johnson, update us on the political Wernthal, I'm gonna use that word for lack of a better word, about Horry County and the state of South Carolina. As you know, today in Georgia, the president and the vice president were there, and they are pushing this voting rights issue, which seemed to have been overlooked by the members of the White House and Congress and the senator and the Senate. These are some of the issues that I think Minister Cedric Spain can speak on and kind of give us an update as where his thoughts are. And, our youth really need to hear that. They really, really need to hear that.
Edric, who's moderating the forum?
So the forum will be moderated by our two city council persons, Miss Amanda Butler and Larry White. Mr. Larry White.
Okay, that wasn't on the flyer, so.
And so,
glad. That's a good question, April.
just to make sure that the audience understands how this panel will flow and how the program will flow. Of course, the Monday or the January 17th event will be live streamed across Facebook and YouTube, and will also be viewable on WCMmagazine.net. And so you'll have the opportunity to post questions in the comment section, just as you do for our live streams, and kind of engage with the panelists on the forum in that particular way. But it's great that, there's going to be some prescribed questions that relate to each of the topics that they all will be talking about, because, as it's my understanding that everybody has their level of expertise in a certain arena. You have Dr. Sean Johnson, and, can you give us, do you have any information? Can you give us information about what each person will talk about, or what their specific focus will be during the forum?
Right. So you started off with Dr. Sean Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Sean Johnson is also in education. So he will be mostly talking about our education arena, what's going on in our school systems today. So that will be his main focus. He will give us, some pointers and things that he feels the community and parents and students need to hear. And then, there'll be questions as well. And then, like you said, if parents or children want to chime in and put a question in the chat,
Mm-hmm.
that'll be their availability time to do that as well.
Okay. And then we have Dr. Lakisha Hudson.
And Dr. Lakisha Hudson will then be with the social and emotional part, as I was speaking of earlier. It'll still be with the youth, but again, for the adults, the parents as well, excuse me, to get some support and understanding of what's going on. Because April, we grew up together. So
Yeah.
when
Oh,
we were
really?
in school, these things were not major issues
That's
that we
right.
had to deal with. And if we needed to go home and talk to our parents, it was easy for us to go home and do that as well. Times have definitely changed. So I think that social and emotional piece is a big part for parents and their children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we mentioned Kevin Mishu with the, the environmental side as a portion of what he could possibly talk about during the Social Topics Forum. And
Right.
Cedric Blaine, of course, we just talked about, what his level of engagement will be in terms of his topics of discussion. So, you all have really pulled together a, wonderful program, and as usual, it's going to be very enlightening and empowering. And I hope that the youth get everything out of the paint and talk session, because I like the fact that you've broken it down and you're giving them each a specific activity based on grade level, but also just based on the ability to comprehend the concept or the objective of the day. So that is great. And the Social Topics Forum, I definitely am interested in hearing the perspectives of these individuals. Of course, as you know, and a lot of the audience may not know, but Dr. Lakisha Hudson is a Conway native. Everyone sees Cedric and Kevin all the time in terms of either being guests on this show, or they're making news in some form or fashion because of the work that they're doing. And Dr. Sean Johnson, I don't know a whole lot about him. I'm not sure if he's a native of this area or not, but I can imagine that he is a native, Reverend Falk.
Yes, he's right there over there from Florence. He is now the current pastor of the Sandy Grove Missionary Baptist Church in Birmingham.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Well, certainly have a great program planned. And so what time do we begin on Monday, on January 17th?
11 a.m.
We'll begin at 11 a.m.
11 a.m.
Yes, you can view it right here on Facebook. Of course, we're connected to YouTube and WCMmagazine.net. So we'll broadcast from the Conway-Horry County MLK Committee Facebook page, excuse me, and we will also broadcast from the WCM Live YouTube page and on the WCMmagazine.net website. So that's how everyone can tune in on Monday, and maybe we'll get to hear about what the youth did on Saturday, and that would be great. And then a couple of other goodies that I'm sure we'll have lined up for that day. So everyone tune in. There's lots going on MLK weekend, and last week, as you know, we had Marcella Swans with the Carolina African American Heritage Foundation, and she talked about all of the events in Myrtle Beach. Today, of course, we have the Conway-Horry County MLK committee members, Reverend Falk as the chair, and Edric, who tends to co-lead, he co-chairs, in my opinion, on the planning. And then there's, a couple of other events in the area. There's a Northeast African Alliance that is actually hosting Harry Singleton on Monday as well. And so, you want to make sure that you watch the social media posts. There's information posted on the network. There's information about this particular program posted on the Conway-Horry County MLK Facebook page. And of course, there's information posted on WCM Live. So now, if anybody wants to get involved with the committee for next year, what do they need to do?
I thought Reverend Falk was going to take that one.
Yeah, I was waiting for him.
Well, we're always looking for new wisdom, people who want to be committed in helping to uplift our community. And so all they have to do is call me. We usually meet somewhere starting around September, October, trying to get ready for MLK Day in January. So they can just basically call me. The information is there, my phone number, and we certainly will invite them to the meeting. And they're willing to work, want to be a part. I don't think we've turned away anybody who wanted to be a part of it. So. And of course, the youth will be recognized on Monday morning as well. Those will present them on Monday morning, which will be a big piece of our commitment to our youth. Yeah,
man, can't wait for that. Really, I mean, I thought this was so ingenious to be developed like that. What y'all have planned. I'm really impressed by it. So can't wait. And I hope everybody feels the same way. All of our viewers that make this a success. It's going to be a success anyway. Okay. So, well, we can say who will have the last word, but I'd like to extend it to Edric or Reverend Falk.
Edric.
Well, I would like to say on behalf of the committee, we do thank you for inviting us on and giving us the opportunity to let the viewers know what we do have planned for this 42nd MLK celebration. We do thank them in advance for the support that they will give us. I'm sure the community will not let us down. And we're always willing and available to assist with the youth and with our community to make sure that we give them the best that we can give them. So thank you again for having us.
Yes.
Look, I'm not here to promote fraternities, but Brother Edric what's your fraternity, Brother Edric?
I'm a member of the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity that the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King was initiated into.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. And Reverend Falk, what's yours?
Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity.
All right.
We're still brothers.
We're still brothers.
Absolutely.
That's right.
That's absolutely. Right. Couldn't have said that any better, Edric. And that's going to be the last word, I suppose. What do you think, April?
Oh, I think we can go to commercial break, and then we will come back and just remind everyone of all of the wonderful MLK events that are happening over the MLK weekend. So you want to do that?
Yep, let's do that. Y'all hang in there. Don't leave.
Yes, and we will be right back. I always look, lately I've been missing my cues, but we'll be right back.
It's all right. It's all right. You're excused.
All right, Brother Edward, and we're back. Thank you all for tuning in tonight and for listening to the broadcast with our special guests from the Conway-Horry County MLK Planning Committee, Reverend Jerry Falk and Edric Austin. So we just want to wrap up the show by reminding you all of the events that we know of in the area in celebration of the birth date of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. As you know, the birthday is actually observed on the third Monday of January each year. And Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15th, 1929, but it's a federal holiday that is observed on the third Monday of each January. So had he lived, he would be at on his birthday 93 years old. And so we continue to celebrate the work and the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And definitely blessed to have all of these committees in the area working to create these celebrations. It's a lot of work. And when you think about the fact that, you know, people are volunteering their time and energy to make these events happen, mainly to,
Absolutely.
educate everyone. And as I said before, to enlighten and empower people, including the youth. And so the young and the old alike, really you want to support, especially in our community, because we're honoring one of our own by attending any of these celebrations. And if you have time to kind of jump around Horry County and attend a little something on all of the dates, that's great too. So want to remind you, our special guests have talked about the 2 events that are being hosted this year by the Conway-Horry County MLK Planning Committee. We have on January 15th, which is a Saturday, the Youth Paint and Talk activity, which will be held at the Conway Senior Citizen Center. Registration is required, masks are required. And if, your child does not have any mask, or you don't have any mask or whatever, don't worry about it. Masks will be provided, but you must register. So make sure you register by email, either by calling Edric Alston. So you can call Edric at 843-397-4599. That's 843-397-4599. Or you can email him at eaustin98@gmail.com. And if you can't catch it in the playback of this show, just go to the Conway-Horry County MLK Facebook page, and that information is posted there. There's activities for elementary, middle, and high school students on that particular day. And as the flyer says, awards will be presented, and we'll find out about those awards on Monday, January 17th. During our social topics forum, which is going to be a virtual forum. It will be live streamed across Facebook and YouTube. So make sure you tune in at 11 a.m. here on Facebook. You can tune in from the Conway-Horry County MLK Planning Committee's page, or you can also tune in on the WCMmagazine.net website, or either the YouTube page, and you'll be able to see the entire program. You'll also be able to interact with the guest panelists for that day by commenting in the chat sections on YouTube or here on Facebook. So mark your calendars, 11 a.m. We will begin. And it sounds like we're going to have a great lineup with Reverend Sean Johnson, Minister Cedric Blaine Spain, Dr. Lakisha Hudson, and Mr. Kevin Mishu are going to be our guest panelists. And the forum will be moderated by our honorable council persons, Councilman Larry White and Councilwoman Amanda Butler.
Right.
Yes. So also add to your calendar, the Northeastern African American Alliance is hosting an MLK Day celebration as well. And their speaker is Dr. Harry Singleton. This will be at Chesterfield Missionary Baptist Church. So if you want to catch Dr. Singleton, there's an opportunity for you if you are in the Longs and North Myrtle Beach area. And then, of course, the MLK events through the Carolina African American Heritage Foundation. Check out their Facebook page. They have a ton of activities that are going on for the entire week. And so you'll want to tune in and see what they're all about. So again, we'd like to thank our special guests, Edric Alston and Reverend Falk. We appreciate y'all being on the show.
Thank you.
Yes, and look forward to the program on Monday.
All right.
God bless.
Kudos to these 2 hardworking individuals. I can't say enough. Really can't say enough. They've been working hard for this coming event, and I know it's going to be success. Hard work produces success at all costs. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Yes,
you, sir.
All right. Well, thank you all.
Thank you.
Yes. Have a good evening. And Brother Edward, can we take it on out?
You can take it out.
All right.
See you next week.
Yeah,
Same time to our viewers. 7 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Yes,
next Tuesday. All right.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much. Have a safe week. Mask up, social distancing.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amarion is out there.
All right.
Amarosa, whatever the name of it. It's out there. So y'all make sure you protect yourself and protect everybody else, please.
Yeah, whatever it is.
He or she don't discriminate.
That's right. He or she don't discriminate, Reverend Falk. You're right about that. So thank you all for tuning in.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook with your host Edward McQueen and April Garner.